And now it's time for Story Pirates Roll Call, where we read real stories sent to the Story Pirates by real kids from all around the world, and we discuss them the same way that we would discuss them in rehearsal before we adapt these stories into sketch comedy and songs. And it's really fun because these stories are genius. They're brilliant. There's lots of mysteries to uncover. There's lots of questions to ask. There's lots of details to admire. And joining us today, we have the incomparable Jamie Watson.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Welcome, Jamie. Longtime story pirate, singer of one of my favorite Story Pirates songs, Turtle Beach.
Ooh.
Turtle Beach Hive, rise up in the comments, all the fans. Thank you for having me, and thank you for setting up the camera on my good side as well.
You're so welcome.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into our first story.
I'm excited, yeah.
This first one is from a 9-year-old from California named Maude, and Maude's story is called Some Random Pigeon for Mayor.
Perfect.
And there is an exclamation point in the title. Some random pigeon for mayor. It's as if someone is calling out, stumping for that candidate. Okay, here's the story. Once upon a time, there was a pigeon named Some Random Pigeon. He lived in New York, and one day he decided he wanted to be mayor, but there were two small problems. Problem number one, he wasn't the smartest. Problem number two, well, he was a pigeon. So yeah. But his friends felt bad, so they decided to help. First, they got a mannequin from Macy's. Second, they got some clothes and a wig and put it on the mannequin. Then they got inside the mannequin. Then they went to the place where mayors go and tried to be mayor. The other competitors were Sandra McPushypants and Grandma. And then there was Bob. All of the pigeons voted for Some Random Pigeon. For some reason, they could vote. And Some Random Pigeon won! Yay! And then this has 10 exclamation points. The end! For now.
What? Wow.
Because getting elected is only the beginning of the story.
I mean, we all know that.
I really, really appreciate here how Maude said it is important to be smart to run for public office.
And yet so hard to find a candidate.
And yet these days it is so hard. But I really appreciate that Maude here was like, unfortunately, not the smartest, but we're going to try anyway. It's about charisma a lot of the time.
Totally.
You know, I can't. My first question listening to the story was, what was that moment when Some Random Pigeon's mother was at the pigeon hospital delivering her egg?
Yes.
And it hatched, and the pigeon nurse says, "What shall you name this pigeon?" And she said, "Some random
pigeon."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that personally, I think this was a home birth.
In the nest.
In the nest.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the reproductive capabilities of pigeons are, but I'm going to assume there were a lot of eggs.
It's probably, there were probably a bunch at once, and it was probably like, okay, we've got Alexis, Allison, Marcus, and
some random pigeon.
Some random pigeon, you know?
Or maybe they're all like some random pigeon, like that pigeon, another pigeon, this old pigeon.
And famously, pigeons all look the same.
Famously.
So I think we can forgive the grown-ups in charge of Some Random Pigeon.
I'm a big fan of Some Random Pigeon's cousin. That pigeon over there. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
he's
I like
my
that
favorite.
one. I like that one too.
Yeah.
You know what I find wild? Living in New York City, we see a lot of pigeons. Have you ever seen a pigeon egg in your life?
Woof.
No.
Where are they? Where are they?
High in the trees.
In their nests.
Yeah.
Do they
Where are
have
the nests? Where are the pigeon nests?
I always assume pigeon nests are made out of garbage.
I'm sure.
Most likely.
Yeah.
I would think so.
So
Some wrappers.
So the egg just looks like garbage, probably.
Oh.
Explains why pigeons look the way they do as well.
That's right. Okay, so as you guys know, before we move on to the next story, I just wanted to do a little experiment. But as you may know, in New York City, we now have ranked choice voting, which means that instead of just voting for one candidate,
Yes.
when you go to the polls for mayor, you can rank them. You can say, I like this person the best, I like this person the second, third, fourth, fifth. And it's actually really complicated because if you rank the wrong person first or second, you could get someone later on that maybe you really didn't want. So you have to be careful about how you rank people. You can also choose not to rank someone.
Okay.
We're coming up on a Democratic primary here in the city. We're in New York City. And so I thought it might be good for us to practice ranked choice with these candidates. So the candidates available for you to rank, and I'd like you both to rank them.
I will, yeah.
Are Some Random Pigeon, of course.
Okay, great.
Sandra McPushy Pants.
Okay.
She's great.
Grandma.
Yeah.
And then there was Bob.
And Bob.
So if you both want to take a second and rank.
I don't need a second.
I know.
Okay. Jamie, as our guest, would you like to go first?
Grandma number 1.
Okay.
She is really going to take care of this city. Put a nice knit blanket on all of us at night.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go Some Random Pigeon.
Okay.
Again, because the charisma's there, the uniqueness, the verve, the talent.
And a team of friends around him.
Yes.
Willing to help him be
Big
successful.
Big supports. Then I'm going to go McPushy Pants.
Sandra McPushy Pants.
Sandra McPushy Pants. Her platform is great. The things she is running on.
Interesting.
She's running on free transportation for all New Yorkers.
Wow.
She's running on a rent freeze.
Wow.
She's really great.
She's the socialist candidate.
The socialist candidate. I know I shouldn't be ranking her third, but again, Grandma.
I know. It seems like the issues are less important to you.
Well, Grandma is personal to me, and then again, that Random Pigeon's fun.
Okay.
And then Bob last. I don't know much about him.
All right, so you are ranking Bob.
Bob's at the end.
You're including Bob. You don't have to rank Bob.
I like the simplicity of his whole thing. Just Bob.
Okay, Peter.
Wow, I missed the literature that's going around about Sandra McPushy Pants.
You need to be informed. You need to be informed.
It's more of a it's less of literature and more of a social media campaign.
Okay, well that explains it. I
all
am
TikTok.
off the grid.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am a very uninformed voter. So I have to say, number 1, Grandma.
Wow,
Right.
2 number 1s for Grandma.
You think I'm
Grandma.
not going to vote for, I assume it's my grandma.
It's my grandma too.
Oh, wow.
It's everyone's own grandma.
Are we cousins?
Probably.
Okay. Irish?
Probably. Scottish.
Close enough. Me too. All right.
They're the same.
Grandma, number 1 for sure. Number 2, I'm going to have to go Bob.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know. There's just something about, I've read thousands, tens of thousands of stories written by kids, and easily the favorite name of all children, the funniest name to them is Bob.
Bob.
And for the children, I must vote Bob, number 2. 3, Some Random Pigeon. You know what? I'm worried about the voting system where when they say for some reason they could vote all the pigeons.
Sure.
I have concerns about that.
They should be able to
Interesting.
vote.
Yeah, no, interesting view for you to take, Peter. Quite conservative.
It was.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying
You
the
don't want
pigeons
everyone
need-
to vote.
need
Wow,
repress
Peter.
voting?
No. I just call me old-fashioned, but I think only people should vote.
Wow. It's 2025.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and last place, Sandra's great, but very pushy. McPushy Pants, respect, civility. That's what I miss.
Okay.
Wow. Sometimes a woman mayor needs to be pushy to get things done.
Exactly. If a man
Okay.
was doing the same thing Sandra was doing,
He'd
do
be
you think
called
you'd call him pushy?
Mayor, best mayor ever.
Hey,
call him a great
Woman's
leader.
Mayor.
I voted for Grandma first.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
All right. Okay.
We don't want to
Wow,
get political
it's
here.
getting heated. It's heated and
Getting
political.
Really heated and political.
All right, I'm going to do my ranking now.
Okay.
And then after I do my ranking, I'm going to ask our producer, Andrew, over there to tabulate the votes. And at the end of today's roll call, we'll tell you who won.
Who won there.
Because, again, the rules behind ranked choice voting is way more confusing than you think it would be.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And Andrew, if you don't have the results immediately, you are fired. Okay.
Okay, I am going to rank backwards for suspense reasons.
Whoa.
I am not ranking Bob. He's not on my ballot.
It's fair.
And so how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3 left?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 3, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going Grandma number 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, I want somebody who's going to be mayor for all the people, not just Peter and Jamie.
You're not voting for our
Our
mutual
grandma is
grandma?
everyone's
I'm ranking
grandma.
her third.
Okay.
You're
All
lucky
right.
I ranked her.
Okay.
Okay, and
Wow.
second, I'm going to rank Sandra McPushy Pants.
Okay.
Because I love her platform. I love issues are important to me.
I didn't
It's
know about
important for me that a candidate will say where they stand on
Yeah.
important issues, and then we can hold them accountable with our ballots in future elections if they don't follow through. And Grandma, frankly, doesn't have that.
She's got a lot of love to give, though. I'll tell
She
you
does
that.
have a lot of love to give.
Unlimited love.
And finally, first, I'm with Maude. Some random pigeon should be first, and because I believe in the truth of this story, where some random pigeon did win. So I'm going to rank some random pigeon first.
We respect that.
Okay. Thank you both for indulging me. Let's move on to our next story. And we'll
Wait. Doesn't Andrew need to tabulate the votes?
I said at the end
At
of
the
the
end of the
roll call.
episode.
Okay, I'm just so excited.
We're
It's
gonna
gonna
move
take
on.
him a while.
Okay, yeah.
He's got to put it in a chart.
It's complicated.
There's a whole
You have to write the math for the spreadsheet so the spreadsheet can do the math for you.
and there might be a hanging Chad.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow.
Ask your parents.
Hey guys.
There you go.
It's me, Hanging Chad.
The hanging Chad.
All right. Peter, would you read us our second story? Maude, that was amazing. Incredible work.
Lee, I would love to. Our next story comes to us from a 5-year-old from Maryland named Owen. And Owen's story is called The Story of the Stinky Robot. The story of the Stinky Robot. First, at the beginning, the humans come out and see the stinky robots, and the stinky robots throw stink balls at them. The humans try to run away, but the stinky robots eat the humans. Then the robots keep eating all of the humans in the city. The name of the city is Run Away from the Stinky Robots. And that's the end of my story. ... And they smell like pizza. Owen.
Oh wow.
Incredible work, Owen.
Wow.
Shout out Maryland. I'm from Maryland as well, Owen.
The crab state.
The crab state. I'm surprised they didn't smell like crabs.
Are they officially called the crab state?
We are called the Sunshine State, I think,
That's,
right?
Isn't that California?
Is that
No,
Florida?
that's
That's
Florida.
No, I don't know what we're called.
You do have University of Maryland, which is Terps.
Uh-huh.
I
The
know about
Terps.
them.
The terrapins.
Terrapins.
Yes. A type of turtle.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thoughts on the story of the stinky robot, Jamie?
You know, my first thought here, when I think of robot, I think immediately metal, right? And to me, metal doesn't smell like anything. So it was so interesting for my brain to go, what if metal did smell like something? What if it was stinky? You know? Because I think of this, the laptop doesn't smell, well, yours does, but Peter's doesn't smell like anything.
No,
you
mine
know?
does too.
Okay, well, both of your, yeah, okay. But I thought it was really fascinating to add that choice. And
I know
then,
what you mean.
And then the reveal that it's pizza smell. I think pizza smells good,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
But to each his own. So I thought it was a fantastic story, and I love the mythology that this is, I guess, the beginning of the world, the creation
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Well, back to the pizza. Like, is it the pizza that is stinky? Because it says, and they smell like pizza. Is he talking about the humans or the robots?
Well, at that point, the humans are all eaten.
They've been eaten. Okay. Well, all right. Then I guess it is the robots that smell like pizza. So it's stinky pizza. I mean, you could put a topping on a pizza that stunk.
Absolutely.
Anchovies?
Sardines.
Broccoli,
Blue cheese.
cauliflower.
Brussels sprouts.
Does cauliflower smell like anything?
Awful. Awful. I know people that microwave
It's
it.
in the same family
Ugh.
as broccoli,
Yeah.
I
it's
love
not
broccoli.
well,
but it smells.
Not wrong.
well, to Owen, pizza smells bad. To you, broccoli smells good.
Here's a wild, different theory.
Okay.
They smell like pizza, and that part is good. But there's an additional odor in there that is indescribable, that is ruining it all.
Yeah.
It's in the family of pizza, but it's stinky.
What's the worst smell to you two? Sorry to turn the host on to, the guest turning host,
The
but
tables have
what is the smelliest smell to you?
Shrimp cocktail that's gone bad, just a little bit, because you don't know that it's bad until you get here, and then you're like, I could have had shrimp cocktail, and now I can't eat it.
Has that actually happened to you?
Disappointing.
It literally happened to me yesterday.
And you, with the shrimp cocktail, were you keeping it? Was it like Were these leftovers?
I bought it from the grocery store.
Oh, and
cooked,
it was bad.
and I was gonna use it as an appetizer, and I put it on a plate, and I snuck one before I brought it out, and then I went, and I was like, "This is my favorite treat in the world," and I'm like, and I tried to like boil it a little, didn't know, had to throw it out.
You got to get a refund.
I'm too lazy.
Oh,
Yeah, you shouldn't
no.
be buying cooked shrimp. Shrimp is so easy to cook.
I know, but I was literally on the way to a party,
Oh.
and I was gonna bring snacks.
What'd you do instead?
Weird choice.
I've got other snacks.
Okay.
I made black sesame seed Rice Krispie treats.
Ooh.
Those were good.
Okay. Well, for me, the worst smell is still microwaved cauliflower.
Okay. So you're standing by that.
Awful. Awful. But my question about this story is, when was the city named? Was it before or after the Stinky Robot invasion? Because
This was my question.
returning to the text, it says the name of the city is Run Away from the Stinky Robots. And they tell us that after the events of the story. So, like,
Woof.
Whoa, I just had, maybe it was this. I love the idea that some people were walking around going, we need a new city to live in. And they discover a city and it's
Yeah.
empty. And they see a sign. And the sign says, "Run away from the stinky robots." And it's a warning sign, but they took it as, oh, this is the name
What
of
an
the city.
interesting name of a city.
I shall
What
live
language
here.
is this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some native language to the city.
And it's their own fault.
And they didn't see the warning.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting way of thinking of it.
I think it's
Yeah.
safe to say that, Owen, we need a prequel
Mm-hmm.
to this story so that we can understand, the backstory, the events, the city, the
Yeah.
humans, where the Stinky Robots. Obviously, if your theory is correct, then the Stinky Robots were a known entity in this world.
This
What-
is not the first city full of people eaten by the stinky robots.
Right.
But tell me, what is a prequel to the beginning of time? In the beginning.
Oh, yeah, it says
You
first
know?
at the beginning. You're
Wow.
right.
Well, we didn't say the beginning of time. The beginning of what?
I think we can assume it's the beginning of time.
The beginning of time.
It's
or
the beginning.
Or just literally the beginning of the story.
When they say in the beginning,
First
do
at
they have to specify what they mean
I would
by-
say that's the beginning
But it
of time.
says first at the beginning, the humans come out.
Yeah, first and beginning both imply heavily that nothing occurred before these events.
Or it feels like an elevator pitch for this movie where it goes, all right, what's your story about? Okay, first, at the beginning, the humans come out. That doesn't feel like
See, to
beginning
me,
of
it's
time.
in the beginning. It's a creation myth.
All right.
I have one final theory about the pizza smell,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
which is that I believe that eating the humans helped the robots not to stink anymore and instead smell like pizza.
It's the origin of pizza story. Pizza are just humans devoured by stinky robots, and then a shelf opens up and a pizza comes out.
The chemicals combine. Yeah. The hormones, etc. And here's what we come up with.
I
Yeah.
think a pizza sort of looks like if a robot just melted a human into a puddle. That's a pizza.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Pizza.
We've got some tans and
Yeah,
reds and
yeah. I mean, now I'll never eat pizza again, but it's fun.
Oh, you're gonna eat pizza again,
You're
Peter.
right,
Come
you're
on.
right.
melted human puddle. Owen, thank you for inspiring those 3 words. All right, we have one more story to discuss for today's roll call before we find out the results of the election. This one comes from Sybil, nicknamed Billie. So I guess we can call them Billie, a 7-year-old in Texas. And this story is called The Kangaroo Who Came from a Portal Who Loved Sports.
Once something just come out of the sky, and some sightings say it was a portal. 2 days after, science told everybody in the whole wide world that it was a portal. Something jumped out of it. Actually, it was pretty obvious that it was a kangaroo. And suddenly, people started seeing it, taking people's basketball and stuff, and started entering games, and then winning a bunch of medals and stuff. And then people wanted it to give a speech. So I don't remember exactly what it said, but I think it was something like this. Blah, 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 sportsmanship, blah, 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 medals, blah, 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 blah. Is he going to be done yet? Blah, 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 blah. The end.
Wow.
Amazing. More than anything, Billie's commentary on speeches here is
something sportsmanship.
has there ever been a speech for which you haven't said, I don't remember exactly what they said, but it was something like this?
All the candidates in the first story,
Exactly.
yeah, it was
Their
very
speeches.
that.
I will say that specific example really took me back to what it felt like to be in school with an adult talking to you, saying important things, but it does come across as blah, 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 sportsmanship, blah, 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 medals.
Jamie, any takeaways from this story for you?
I really like when science told us what happened. We need that more in this day and age. Because if science, just the concept of science says, this is what happened, we need to listen up.
Yeah.
Science said this happened.
Because when you say science says something, you're talking about peer-reviewed studies. You're not, this isn't just some guy. Scientists don't just decide what they want to be true. They do these studies, peers review them, and findings are confirmed through evidence.
Yes. So I loved that line that science told us. What team, if, this kangaroo, obviously, basketball player, it seems. What team do you think this kangaroo would thrive on?
Well, I just want to say there's a picture in it.
Oh,
in the picture,
it looks like
the kangaroo has a basketball and there's a soccer ball and other balls. So I think it's a tennis racket in its tail.
So it's
all games.
It's every team.
Well, yeah, and let's be clear. Like, the kangaroo here is not a member of the team. This kangaroo is aggressively entering games for which they are not a part of either of the teams.
Yeah.
But I love the strategy. In terms of animals playing sports, I like the strategy of like an aggressive kangaroo just entering a game and taking it over and winning it better than say Teen Wolf's team strategy, right? Like, just be a part of the team, wait till you get angry during the game, turn into a wolf, win the game.
Well, have you seen kangaroos? They are big and they are kind of scary sometimes.
They're very scary.
I was picturing
They're very scary.
I was picturing a lady at a table with the medals. And the kangaroo's like, oi, give me that medal. And she's like, oh, okay. So it's, he's not even, because a kangaroo can't dribble. So it's just a bully.
I think the kangaroo
I think a kangaroo
can.
There are some jacked kangaroos out there. Have you seen these images?
Have you seen Kangaroo Jack?
I have seen these images, and they are jacked.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll
can.
Yeah, and they'll kick too.
They'll kick.
Oh, they'll kick.
They can box.
Yeah, they can box. If you can box, you can dribble.
Okay. All right, I stand corrected.
Science says that.
That's right.
Science says kangaroo can dribble.
Yeah.
All right. Incredible story, Billie. Thank you so much for sending it in. So many amazing details in this story. Your imagination is off the charts. Awesome. Great work, my friend. And before we wrap it up, Andrew, do we have a result for the next New York City election?
So in ranked choice voting, if you win more than 50% of the vote...
Wait, come over here and say that into here. Say
into
that
this
in
mic.
here.
Producer
right
Andrew
into the mic.
Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Say right into the mic. Here we go. You can say it into this one.
So after furiously Googling, because I didn't really understand how the system worked.
No one does.
No one does.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes it so great.
Nobody wins until you win 50% of the vote. So because we have 3 voters, and Grandma won first place with 2 of you, so Grandma wins outright for having more than 50%.
Wow.
Yay, Grandma!
Grandma!
Wow.
Oh, Nana's gonna be so happy.
Hard caramels for everyone.
Yeah.
Do you call your grandmas like some weird name like
Mimi Moo Moo.
Mimi Moo Moo?
My grandparents were Nana and Grandpa Mac, and then Mouse and Jack.
Mouse and Jack.
Because her name
Seems rude.
her name
Mouse.
was Mickey. Her name was Mary Jane. Her friends called her Mickey, but her grandkids called her Mouse.
Wow.
What about you?
Grandma and Mum.
Mum.
My mom's mom.
Oh, Mum.
Mum.
Mom's
Mum.
mom. Mom's mom.
Mom's mom. Mum.
Wow. I say grandma and grandma.
Grandma and grandma.
Yeah.
See, and then how do you discern?
By their last names, like everyone else.
Yeah. Okay. So you
Fair?
put a little bit of formality on there.
Yeah,
With your
I'm
grandparents.
very formal.
Yeah.
Everything about me is
Yeah.
extremely formal.
It is fun though when grandparents have names like Beep Boop and Gloppy.
I know. It is fun. Ninu and Pupa.
Nina and Gugu.
Gigi and Gaga. Thank you, Jamie, so much for joining us
Thank you
today.
for having me. And thank you for your stories.
Thank you
I loved
to
hearing them.
all of our authors. Thank you for listening / watching. To read all of today's roll call stories, just head to storypirates.com.